swapped out the 2-barrel carburetor for a throttle body injection system. Injectors here, throttle plate still sits in the same place. This gives more accurate metering of the fuel. We're hoping to see a good difference in horsepower and torque. The installation was...
You're hoping to see how much difference?
Something notable.
Something notable? Okay.
I'm hoping for more than, 10 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
The installation was complicated.
So what kind of sensors and stuff does it need to make this throttle body fuel injection run on this old car?
MAP sensor.
A what?
Or MAP sensor.
Okay, there's a MAP sensor.
Needed a engine coolant temperature sensor, which was installed right down here. There's the new one. See it in there between all the hoses.
Mm-hmm.
And just think, it's not working. Throttle position sensor, intake air, temperature sensor, which are all part of the throttle body.
Okay.
I needed to install a tach sensor or tach signal from the electronic ignition module to the PCM for the system, or for the injection system.
So that MSD ignition, that was already on this vehicle.
Yes.
So somebody had taken the old points off of this thing, which is common. Very few people are running around in old cars like this with points still, unless they're trying to keep it original. And so the ignition system's already been updated. You've updated the fuel system. So what do you got back there? There's a hole in the firewall.
This is where the wiring goes through
Okay.
to where I mount the PCM.
And you might want to tell the folks how none of this is. We've just got this mocked up right now.
Yeah, right now it's just meant to be functional.
So there's
This is
just wires
not
just to
perfect.
make it run. This is not the way this is going to end up once all is said and done.
Yeah, cleaned up quite a bit.
Okay. So then under here, in here under the dash.
Pile of parts in the way right now. Dash parts. This car is a huge project.
All cars are a huge project.
What I've done is I've installed the PCM right here up against the firewall.
Okay.
Back behind it, and what I've realized is a bad place to access are the relays for the fuel pump and the ignition system.
All right.
I still have to mount my data link connector and check engine light.
Okay, and that
There.
data link connector, that's.
It's
We should also probably talk about this. This is all sourced from
from a 90s model GM
okay, so this is a
pickup,
Chevy.
as a matter of fact.
Chevy throttle body system from early 90s, so OBD1, data link connector, and then a check engine light that we'll install on the dash somewhere. So fully functioning throttle body fuel injection system.
Really
So talk
functional,
about the fuel pump, because obviously having a carburetor, that would be a mechanical pump, but now we have
an electronic,
an electric pump.
which needed to be mounted below the fuel tank optimally. And again, this is a temporary placement. That pump sits right back here.
Okay.
An electronic pump wiring run from the PCM straight back to the pump, then to a body ground, which everything's real difficult to see down here.
See if I can get it. Yeah, see, there's the
There's
pump
our-
right there.
Electric supply, ground comes right over and is tapped in. If you come back from the pump, up this line, there's an inline fuel filter right here. You always want to put your inline filters ahead of your fuel pump, because, well, it doesn't really matter if it gets too far past it if particulates getting to the pump. It's going to chew it up.
Okay. Now that hose across the roof, that's not
No, that's not permanent.
that's not permanent.
This is the mock-up for the return line from the throttle body back to the tank.
Okay.
Pressure's reduced and then flown back over the top. Actually, I've just stuck it in the filler neck for now for the purposes of getting tested when this is all done, it'll be routed under the car the same way as the supply line is, and then tapped into the top of the fuel tank
Okay.
for full return.
So if I'm not going to see you driving this thing around town with these hoses hanging off the
No.
back.
No. No way.
Okay. Now, where did you get this whole setup? Because this came as a kit.
Kit came through AFI, which is an online company, Affordable Fuel Injection Systems. They actually tailor each kit to the specific needs for this application, which I found to be very useful.
Why do you think that is?
Well,
What's involved in customizing this to fit on this old Ford?
well, there's going to be some minor machine work to tie the existing throttle body to the existing intake manifold.
Okay, so adapting the throttle body.
There's going to be there's different measurements, different lengths for the wiring harness,
Okay.
depending on the vehicle, and different volumes of airflow required. So
Well, let's not forget programming.
to chip
The chip that is in that computer under the dash has to be programmed
this application.
for this engine so that we can have maximum efficiency. Okay. Well, hopefully we can get some good numbers and figure out exactly what kind of a benefit this is. Now we know it runs, right?
Yep.
Start it up for a second. So it runs. Seems to be pretty smooth. Seems to run pretty well. So hopefully we can get some decent results on the dyno to show us how well it's working. Now, what if you don't see any horsepower increase?
Well, just because there's not an increase in horsepower doesn't mean there aren't benefits.
Yeah, certainly.
This system will be much less difficult to deal with over the long term than the carburetor. It's much more accurate, so I expect to see improvement in fuel economy. And really, if you miss out on an increase in horsepower or torque, you're going to have lost it.
Yeah.
And better fuel mileage counts, especially for something like this.
Yep. Snap that throttle for us. Okay, very good.